Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Alan Troop reporting news from around the Columbia Basin for Tuesday, November 5th. Tonight, we report on the death of a Yakima man after he was hit by a car and why 2 explosions rocked the Grant County International Airport. In sports, Bob Kirkpatrick reports on the Seahawks, Mariners, and Huskies. Our spotlight story tonight is about a group of avid bicycle riders taking on Beasley Hill at night. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, traffic was stopped on the fill along North Stratford Road in Moses Lake last night after a pedestrian was struck by a car. Dustin Warner, a 38-year-old Yakima man, was walking along North Stratford Road when he allegedly stepped into the street and was struck by a passing car. According to the Moses Lake Police, he was injured, taken to Samaritan Hospital, and then flown to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where he died. Roger Clark, a 66-year-old Shelley, Idaho man, was driving a white 2007 Nissan Murano when he reportedly struck Warner. According to the Washington State Patrol, neither he nor his passenger, Colleen D. Sutter, a 69-year-old Firth, Idaho woman, were injured in the collision. The State Patrol reports they are working to determine the cause of the collision. 2 40-pound explosives were set off yesterday afternoon as part of a prequel to a military emergency response exercise. Port of Moses Lake Security Manager Greg Becken said information about the full-fledged military exercise will be made known in about a week. Becken said the port notified the 911 dispatch center ahead of time, which was receiving calls from residents throughout the afternoon. The military is trying to keep the operation low profile until it is ready to conduct the exercises. Marijuana retailers may be coming to Grant County after all. Grant County Commissioner Richard Stevens said the county is looking at a moratorium before establishing the rules allowing marijuana retailers to do business in the unincorporated areas of the county. Stevens said, "We're not trying to do away with it. We're just going to put in a short-term moratorium until we can get our planning figured out." The commissioners plan to hold a public hearing on a 6-month moratorium on November 14th at 1 p.m. in the commissioners' hearing room at the Grant County Courthouse. The statement marks a change from previous statements where county officials said they were going to look for a way to prevent the marijuana retailers from opening up in the county. A 19-year-old gang member is serving nearly 10 years in prison for allegedly shooting 2 people in June. Ramon Morphine entered an Alford plea to assault in the 1st degree and assault in the 3rd degree in Grant County Superior Court. The Alford plea means Morphine doesn't admit to committing the crime, but felt he would be convicted if he was tried. Morphine was at an apartment in Warden when one of the 2 victims came to the door. After the tenant opened the door, Morphine reportedly got up and walked outside. He reportedly pulled a .22 caliber pistol, shooting one of the people at the residence in the leg, and then shooting the victim in the leg and in the back. Warden police reported Morphine is a gang member. Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We will be back after these messages with the latest from our iFIBER 1 Weather Center, sports, and more news.